what I wanted to say is that, for example, Gabby and I married here. Now, because you, Olga, is single, Ayana probably still single, and Anya, you are just a few months in a relationship. When you are in a space of married women, especially married women with healthy and happy marriage or relationship, guess what? You're gravitating that towards you. You want to be healthy and exercise, you gotta be with people who are healthy, eating and exercising, you know? And if you want to be spiritual, you gotta hang out with people who are spiritual. You want to be successful businesswoman, you gotta hang out with masculine women. And so I just want to acknowledge that this is in a space. And it's just a matter of time when you're gonna be either in a relationship or married, you know, or you, Anya, get married. It's just a matter of time. It's just the way math works, physics works. So just want to acknowledge you, ladies, for being here. Ladies, do you want to share anything? Was there any resistance to come into this program? Was there excitement? How were you feeling to come to this program? So just want to get the general feeling.
I guess I'll share. Definitely was excited for this program, but probably had a little resistance just because he's not feeling so like 100%. So it was kind of feeling like, oh, like I really want to go, but like I don't know about little man. You know, that was kind of, he started getting the runny nose last night. So of course I was like, I'm not sure, but he's in good spirits, luckily, you know, even though he's a little uncomfortable, he's fine.
Yeah, so thank you. Even though Alexander not feeling really fully 100%, you're still here. You're making a marriage a priority, your relationship with David, and that says a lot. So thank you, Gabby. Ayana, what is there for you in the space? Was there any resistance or excitement? How are you feeling to get to this program?
I think I felt a little resistance, probably because I think I have a little bit of a hard time connecting to certain things when I'm not really in them. Like not being in a relationship, I don't know if I feel like I have enough space to really fully take in the way that I want to, because there's like no relationship in the back of my mind, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Because right now you're single, recently divorced, you feel like, okay, so do I have full space to take in all of the knowledge about relationship if you're not currently in a relationship? I get it. And thank you for being here. Because it's just a matter of, could be weeks, could be months before you could be in a relationship. And then it's better to know this knowledge and into the relationship than not knowing. Mm-hmm. Can you just take that, like you are going in a relationship already knowing fundamentals and what's important?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Let me just share the way the program will go. Sometimes I'll be talking to you, for those of you who are single. Sometimes I'll be talking about marriage and relationship. Now, when I'm talking about marriage and relationship, start thinking back when you were in a relationship, the mistakes you were doing, and also it's a matter of weeks or months that you will be in a relationship, how you will be doing it correctly. Start applying it to you. Gabby, even if I'm talking to ladies who are single, start applying what was not working. Maybe just a year or two ago, or currently what mistakes you're still doing, because there's always room to grow. Okay, don't separate yourself. Oh, right now she's talking about dating, it doesn't apply to me. It still applies to you. And if I'm talking about marriage, it still applies to you, because it's a matter of weeks or months or a year that you will be married, ladies. So are we ready to start? Fantastic.
Yes.
Now I would like to just ask you, how would like for you to be in this program? Because you could be doing this program logically and intellectually, and then you're just gonna get a few insights. But if I will ask you to be vulnerable and authentic, you can actually have breakthroughs and full transformation on how you're looking at men. So I know that we are throughout a day, weeks in our community, on our social media, trying to look good, and it's inauthentic. This is a safe space that I'm asking you to be vulnerable and authentic, because I will be coaching you one-on-one. So would you agree to put on the side looking good and just being vulnerable for the next 3 hours? Can we agree to that?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now I have a question for you then. First of all, why are you here? You wouldn't be here because you just want to learn about men. Let's just be honest about that. What do you want in a relationship? And please, again, don't tell me that you just want harmony and happiness with a man, because this is very, very unclear. Who wants to be fully honest and work with me right now? And you will be very surprised how unclear and uncertain you are about what you want. So who is willing to be coached right now and work with me? What do you want in a relationship? Gabby, even if you're married, Anya, even if you're in a relationship, you can still work with me and I can coach you step by step. What is actually that you still want or maybe improve? So who has this calling right now to work with me?
I'll share something.
Fantastic. Awesome. Let's go. And if anybody else would want to do it after Gabby, I can go with you as well. And throughout the program today, I really would like to work with each one of you so we can unpeel what's not working. Gabby, you are already married and you have a husband. What do you want now from your marriage?
This might be more on my side, but I still see, for me, a lot of hesitancy in being like fully honest in certain situations. Kind of like holding back, you know, if I don't like something or if something makes me uncomfortable, still trying to like just like that people pleasing kind of tendency. You know, whether it's something recently actually that happened. My parents took care of baby Alexander for a little bit. They took him to the park locally, but they stopped at a Mexican restaurant and they were drinking alcohol. And I found this out after the fact because they told me that they were just going to go to the park, but they stopped. So like even something like that, I know that's not with my marriage, but it was very like hard for me to say something to them. But I still see where I can be that happened very recently. So it's at the top of my mind, but I can still see where I'm the same way in my marriage, where something might make me feel uncomfortable and I don't say anything.
Got it. So right now what you're saying, you would like to be really honest and courageous and communicate what's so to David when something he does that doesn't work for you, instead of just pleasing. Anything else? What else would you like in a marriage?
I guess it's hard to think about now just because of the babies here, but I would like to have more alone time, like going out and having fun and things like that. I feel like we've definitely put that to the side because of the baby. And just, you know, also, I mean, even though he's 10 months old now, I still feel like we're kind of like, we're in a better routine, but it's definitely not smooth, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So I would like to make more time to have fun together.
Got it. So what else is missing is communication, authentic communication, that you also want to be alone sometimes and you need his support to give you this alone time. And also fun time between you and David, just you and David. That's what you're communicating, what's missing right now, which you're in a perfect program because I'm going to be coaching you later how to communicate that with a husband. That's going to be halfway in the program. But right now also, I would like some of you who is single to also work with me, because we're going to create a full picture of how you want to be in a relationship. So thank you, Gabby, for being really vulnerable and share. But now I would like to work with also who is single or in a relationship, Anya. So who wants to work with me?
I will.
Who is that?
Or Olga.
Who?
Let them maybe choose. I'm as well ready, but Ayana was first.
Ayana. So now I will tell you what I would like for you to tell me. What I would like for you to share is, what kind of relationship do you want? What kind of man do you want? Where would you live with this man? What you will be doing? What you will be doing with him together at home? Will you be working or will you be staying home? How many kids you would like? In which state or country would you like to live? I would like to hear that. So you will be very clear. What is that you want? So Ayana, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. So, what would you like?
Oh, it's so fun to share with another person. So I would like a husband who wants to have a family, and I would like to live more in a rural area, kind of like the countryside, with a small home, because, I don't know, big homes just don't seem cozy to me. But a small, comfortable home for our family with like 3 or 4 kids.
Yes.
And I want him to take care of our finances. Like, I don't want to think about paying bills. Even now, the bills I do pay are like on auto pay, so I don't have to like think about it.
Yes.
So I want him to do that, like, mental heavy labor for me, with regards to like financing. And I see him owning a business. I don't know what kind of business, like it could be like construction or a restaurant or, anything where he's, owning his own business. And really, I would just like to be comfortable and like genuine with someone, and someone who's like comfortable with me, myself, like that I don't have to conform to what their idea of me should be, but rather just being comfortable myself and them accepting that, and me being able to accept him as well.
Very good. Can you share what is his physical status? Is he fat? Is he heavy? Is he healthy? Is he drinking? Is he smoking? What is that? Tell me. It has to be this specific.
He's not drinking, he's not smoking, he's not clubbing. He's fit, but he doesn't have to be like a gym bro, but like a fit masculine, like he does work around the house sometimes kind of fit. And just like a masculine man, not too skinny.
Yeah.
And average height or tall is usually what I like and naturally attracted to, what I naturally see first. But I'm short, so really any height is like fine. It doesn't have to be like 6'4" or something like that. But mainly like a muscular, stocky kind of guy, not skinny. And he is active, like, he'll go to a park, he'll play a pickup football game here and there, but like he's not into sports like that, like it's not consuming his life like basketball every day or something.
Very good. So you want a guy who has his business, some sort. You're staying home with 3-4 kids, living in a small rural country home. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he plays a little bit of sports, but not really sports, like in the park. So he's in a good shape, has some muscles. But mainly, you're talking about a man who is a provider, who is a protector, who takes care of you and kids. So you can stay home and not even stress about bills. Is that clear? Am I missing anything?
No.
No? Very good. Do you see how it is specific? This is very clear and very specific. Now, Olga, Anya, and Edith, are you start having a picture of what kind of man do you want to be with?
Yes.
Yes? Do you want to share, Olga?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Same, like, the character and how she's supposed to look like, yeah?
Very short, very quick.
I want Ukrainian. I want protector, provider, and leader.
Yeah.
I want as well to live somewhere on the side country, like, as well with a small house and like garden, maybe forest next to us, maybe some river, but anyway, not in busy city.
Yeah.
Of course, like I want to have my, I cannot say hobby, I still will work, but I will work not for like paying bills and running after all these cars, house, and everything what I'm doing now as a single. I just want like to be happy what I'm doing. Like, of course, my dream is like to have my space with yoga, with healthy vegan cafeteria. Like, I don't know, hopefully it will come true. like but definitely he need to provide me all my expenses, my emotional support and financial support as well. And of course I want to feel with him like I shouldn't be scared to share with him, and like I mean I don't want to hear that I'm I don't know, rude, or I'm annoying, or I'm complaining a lot. I want that he accepted who I am and kinda feel me. I mean, in the same way I will feel him. Like I mean, when he come in tired from work, I will give all my support and like I mean everything, and make it cozy our house and cook and everything. I want this connection. I want it like I mean even in the beginning, because what I'm recently, even when I've been in Ukraine, when I like communicating with guys, like I really see all these traumas which they have, and they like I mean projecting on me. And of course I know I have it as well. And I'm just like, whoa, if it's in the beginning like this, what it will be later. That's why I want like really kind of click, but not a click which is like this dangerous click when it's butterfly in the stomach, because I know later it's not gonna be good. And definitely regarding the look, I want like tall guy, taller than me, because I like 172 centimeters, and of course he's supposed to be sporty because I'm sporty, or if in case no, like I mean we will manage. I will do everything for him. Yeah, like have his hobby, of course, no smoking, no drinking, and that he active, that we will go out, like I mean not every day of course, but I mean he ready to climbing, he ready to cycling, like something active, and of course traveling. I cannot without traveling. I hope 4 times per year.
All right, so what I'm hearing: emotionally healthy, physically fit, does sports and active, travels, provides and protects, has a home in the country, Ukrainian, live next to the forest or river, having home. Do you guys have kids?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about kids.
You'll have kids. And when you said, by the way, about his look physical, he's like, well, if he's not too sporty, I will make him kind of. By the way you meet a man, that's how you gotta accept him, not changing him. He will resent that, so you gotta be very clear. But fine, okay. Vacations and travels, you can have your yoga room. This is a lot, so you know, okay? So you're asking. Now, Edith and Anya, are you having a clear picture what you want? Because this is important. What is that you want?
What I'm looking forward right now is that we spend time together, like high quality time. We go together to theaters, cinemas, and we are doing that. So we are on a very good pathway to, to getting to know each other better and spend time together, and hopefully to, commit more closely in the future. So yes, so I already have a clear picture what I want.
Very good. But Anya, I would like to also share, and for you ladies to start thinking about, how long are you dating this guy, and when are you getting engaged and married? Because some guys will be dating you for 3-5 years. That's what's going on in their heads. Some don't even want to get married, and this is something that you're also not communicating. And this is something you gotta know. So
I agree.
when are you committing to him? When are you getting married? Will you have kids with him or not? Will you live in his home or your home, or you'll buy another home? This is all of the specifics that you gotta know. What is that you want?
I'm thinking about getting married, but I don't have clear picture of it in my head. And I'm not sure is it good or is it bad. I know that we are thinking very similarly, that we want to commit and live together, but we didn't put it on a timeline or...
Now, just wanted to coach you. If you're not certain if you're gonna get married or not, your relationship gonna continue zigzagging. So it's better for you to know and to be very specific. Yes, I want to move in with him in a year. Not being attached to it, but having at least a picture, or I want to get married and for us to be together. Or if you're certain that you don't want to move in together or get married, that's good too, as long as you know what is that you want. And being fully authentic. Because if you don't know, you'll be just going right and left, and that's what makes us very uncertain and really unhappy as a woman because we know what we want, but we're not communicating that to ourselves and to our partners. The earlier that we know, the more certainty, confidence, and happiness that's gonna bring you. So I would like for you in this program to start thinking about it, because maybe that is just past fears that is in the background.
Maybe, yes,
Yeah?
because I'm in this state right now.
Totally. Thank you for acknowledging. Edith, do you want to share what is that you want, but we have a short time, just maybe in a minute? What exactly do you want?
So for me, I see myself with a person who is definitely a provider, very wealthy, rich, has influence. I also see myself in a very big house with a garden. I want to be cooking my husband healthy dishes, and I want to be getting my stuff from my garden. I see myself in a big house with so many girlfriends coming to visit me. And then I see myself traveling a lot with my husband. And I see myself, my husband, adoring me as the most beautiful creature on earth. Yeah, I also see my husband being definitely handsome, not extremely, but there somehow handsome, not so ugly. I see kids, but I cannot see how many kids. I definitely know there's gonna be a daughter.
Beautiful, Edith. Well, let me
Yeah.
just quickly share. So you want a provider, not just provider,
Yeah.
but very rich and wealthy provider.
Correct.
You have a big house, garden, and friends coming over that you're cooking and doing the breakfast and dinner. Now he's on top of it, handsome, and you guys have kids. Now, ladies, get ready for this.
And has influence.
Oh, on top
Like,
of it, sorry,
has
this
influence,
is a big
yeah.
one. And on top of it, he has an influence. Well, first of all, thank you, ladies, for being authentic and share. So let's just get into it. So you're gonna start being in the reality. Imagine, like in any store, you came with a need to purchase something. The dating pool is the same as a store where you purchase apples, milk, meat, and other things. To go to the store, you need money and clear understanding what you want to buy. If you go to the store hungry but not sure what you want, you'll get a bunch of food but not what you really wanted. Going to the store pretty with makeup will not get you to buy what you need, because to go to the store, you need to have money. So what I'm trying to say is that you must be clear of what you need and also how to get it. The same thing in a relationship. You enter a relationship in order to get what you need, which we're again discovering now what you need and what actually you want. For example, I need a husband, not a civil marriage or relationship, but actual husband, marriage. I want a house, kids, and him being responsible, for example. I want to stop working and being overwhelmed and stop being stressed working full time. I want regular intimacy and connection and conversation with the husband. And now you came to this imaginary store of single men who came there also to get something. And everyone is coming to the store to get what they need. But not everyone will get what they need because they all just gonna get something, but not something that they really want. And so we got that in order to get to the store, you need money. But in order to get a man, you need to understand what this man wants and needs. Is that clear? You ladies, for example, Edith and Ola, you want rich, influence, very wealthy, and having like at least a daughter. And all of this influence. Ola, you want handsome, sporty, home provider, all of this good stuff. But you need to understand what this man actually wants and needs. And now I'm gonna share an example with you. And please listen and be with it. 20 years ago, I had a client. And he came in one day, he was in his mid-20s, and he said very proudly, Alisa, I think I want to get married. I said, did you meet a woman? He said, not yet. I said, oh, interesting. Do you mind if I'll coach you? And he said, sure. I said, do you mind writing down what do you want from a woman? And he was sitting down, and in 15 minutes, he wrote down 56 points. And I thought, please read it to me. And so he said, I want her to be blonde, blue eyes, this height, this breast size, this hip size, the waist size. Very 10 things were very superficial. And then he was saying, oh, she's pretty, she's smart, she has career, she's intelligent. 56 points. Now I said, great, take a piece of paper and write down, what can you give to this woman with 56 points? He got really serious, frustrated, upset, and was trying to write down something for 20 minutes with serious face. After 20 minutes, I saw only one point and I said, can you please read it to me? And you know what he wrote? So I said, so what are you gonna give to this amazing woman with 56 points? And he said, I am willing to give her advice when she will be going in distress in life. I looked at him and I said, we'll call him John. I said, dear John, when you're gonna find a woman with this 56 points that will be willing to be with you, for you just to give her advice when she'll be going through this stressful time, it's like winning a lottery. I wish you good luck. He stood up, shook my hand, and he got what I meant. He left, but he fully got what I'm talking about. And so the exercise that I want you to do right now is to take a piece of paper and to write down, because we heard what you want, but I would like for you to write down, what are you willing to give to a man? Because if you want 25 things from him, and you want to give him only 5 things, the math is not working. You're just not going to attract this man. For every point that you want, you got to be willing to give him that, because there's a cost. Like, you're buying a milk, you're paying $5. You're buying the steak, you're paying $20. You want him to be a provider. What are you willing to give him? Because man is walking in like this store, let's say this dating pool, and they don't have in their forehead, yes, I'm a rich, I'm wealthy, I'm willing to have 3 kids and take care of you, provide, lead, and protect, and I'm physically fit, and I'm not drinking, and I'm not smoking. But he wants something too. He needs something too. And what are you willing to give him? And I know for you, Gabby, you're already a wife, and you're a mother, but what are you willing to give to David so that he will be listening to you and you can be talking to him with honesty, and he will be there and listening to you, not making you wrong. So I would like for you to start being authentic and start writing down what are you can give to a man. Is that clear?
Mhm.
Take 5 minutes to do it. Okay, who would like to start? What are you willing to give to a man? How many points you have so far?
I have 15 points.
You have 15 points. Okay, start sharing though.
So what I'm going to give my husband is healthy food, laughter and pranks, beauty, kids, class, elegance and poise, fun through dancing and games, company, voice of reason, clean house and clean home, present mother, good listener, feminine figure, politeness. I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna be gentle to him, and I'm gonna be faithful.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Edith. Wonderful. Anyone else who wants to share? What can you give to this provider, leader, and protector, and with the home and the fence and the kids and all of this good stuff? Who wants to share? Yes, Ola.
My time, love, support, respect, believe in him, understand, cozy home, food, harmony, healthy and wealthy lifestyle, happy family, safe space, friend, listener, lover, beauty, energy, quality time, spirituality.
Wonderful. Ayana or Anya or Gabby?
Trust in his word, accepting him, accepting things from him gratefully, encouraging his interest, accepting his vision for his life, supporting him, speaking kind words, giving respect, appreciative of his actions, receiving his support and his encouragement and his finances, is soft towards him, is grateful, follows him spiritually, like in our religion, I should say, not controlling of his plans, proud of his accomplishments, receiving intimacy from him. He can expect me to prioritize my health and well-being, to make a home, and use his finances wisely, stay physically active. That's important.
Can I
now.
correct when you said receiving his
Support and his finances.
this, and also receiving when something about intimacy?
Yes.
Change that. Instead of receiving is like he's doing it and I'm just receiving it. Appreciating or accepting, or rather giving. Otherwise it's like, or he's doing and I'm receiving. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to be appreciative, or we want to welcome, or we want to acknowledge something, along that line.
It's funny, I started putting what I could give, and then I'm glad that you said something. I also realized that some of this I should probably say something as well. Like when I'm tired, not cooking, the majority of the time, most of our meals I cook at home. So when I'm tired, not to cook, or just not to do certain other activities, whether it's like seeing family and stuff, letting more family babysit, and when I'm upset, just to listen and not try to solve it right away.
This is beautiful, Gabby. In 30 minutes, I'm gonna start sharing, and it's gonna be fully to you and the rest of you ladies, how you can actually communicate to a husband what doesn't work, so he will get it. So we're just gonna get to that very shortly. That's what you're gonna get the most out of the program today. It's gonna be mainly for you, Gabby. And so this is really wonderful. So thank you for being vulnerable and authentic and sharing right now. You're already looking into it, but there's still something missing that we're gonna get to very, very soon. So ladies, what are you getting so far from this exercise? Because I want to acknowledge you for sharing what you can give to a man. But I would like for you to also get that the quality, and you shared about a quality man, has a price tag. You think that just having a provider, it's, well, I have so much to give. You have a lot to give. But the providers and leaders that you share, and plus for you, Ayana, you also got to share that I want a man who is probably Muslim. Olga, you probably want to share that this man is also spiritual. And so you are really looking for a high quality man. And high quality men who are providers, leaders, and protectors have a price tag. And when you go, there's a big difference between Kia that is 1980 or Mercedes or BMW 2024. And going to a date or attract a man, it's like that. And you gotta remember, what are you willing to give to get what you want? To check what you want with what you can give. It's just, again, if you want 25 things from a man, there's 25 things that you can give. Otherwise, math just doesn't match. And we have to be in the reality of what's so, because a woman does this. So you have this fantasy how your man, right now, you're clear what you want. And then you meet someone and you just put his face into this fantasy and not clearly checking, well, he's not Muslim, he is not spiritual, he doesn't have a home or doesn't want to live in the forest or urban area, he actually doesn't want to have 3 or 4 kids. But you have this fantasy, and every man that comes in, you just put his face into this fantasy. And that's why I wanted to do this exercise. Because when you meet a man, you're just like, oh, good looking, I have emotions and feelings, and you go for it, ignoring what you really want. So now you have to be authentic, because when we're going into a dating, we're forgetting everything that we actually need and want. And you compromise 90% of what you just share. Please raise your hand if you agree. Do you get it? And so when we're dating, especially if you're single, you gotta stop your emotions and feelings. You gotta use logic. And that's why when you go on a date, you gotta ask questions. What is that you want? Where would you like to live if you're married? How many kids would you like to have? And that's what you need to discover if you're single. Otherwise, it's just you putting the face of this guy and you're already thinking about all of these things, you know? You basically want him to become this fantasy that will give you this wealth, rich, sporty, not smoking, not drinking. But the reality, he is overweight. He is not exercising. He is not a provider. He didn't even pay a bill in a restaurant. And we gotta stop our emotions and feelings. In the dating, we gotta use logic. Otherwise, you're so far away from what you want and what you need. And then 6 months and a year later, you'll be so exhausted doing everything yourself. Is it very clear or not?
Yes.
Yes. Now, I would like for us to shift to a spiritual conversation of what a man needs from us, the 3 fundamental things. This is not psychology, because we covered in the past and we can go over later what he needs and what he wants from the psychological realm. But right now, I want to share the 3 things, the core things that every man wants in a relationship. This is at the core what every man really wants on the spiritual realm. And if you do those 3 things, that's the only way a man will open up his heart to you. That's the only way. So who wants to guess? What are those 3 things?
Respect is one.
Respect is very vague. This is action. 3 things that we women do that communicates to a man that you are the one, that he loves you. And in the process, he does feel deep respect from you. What are those 3 things?
Feminine energy.
Feminine energy is part of it. When you're doing it, it's a feminine energy, because those 3 things, when you're doing it, you're not faking. You can fake anything, even orgasm, but you cannot fake those 3 things. And that's what a man feels, that you love him, and he starts opening up his heart to you. And you know why we want his heart to be open? Because he starts to listen to you. And when he starts to listen to you, guess what you're doing? You can start influencing him. And deep in our core, we really do want to influence our man because we want the best for them. But until he opens up his heart, you cannot influence him, because men are very logical. They're living here, and only those 3 things will get him to listen to you from his heart. And this is very hard to achieve. When he will start listening to you from his heart, even if he'll see prettier women, younger women, women who are hitting on him, he will still be loyal to you. He will be influenced by you. He will listen to you. He will love and respect you. And it's a very big deal. This is some really deep spiritual knowledge that every woman must know. But unfortunately, in the modern society, nobody does it. They don't understand how important this is to a man. So keep thinking, what are those 3 things? Any ideas?
I guess
I'm thinking acceptance.
Acceptance exactly of what?
Of who he is.
This is psychological thing that is important, but right now we're talking about spiritual.
Okay.
But good guess, good guess.
Put the God first.
Not it. This is again very important, but this is how he looks at you. If you do practices, you slowly get to the point that you can practice those three things with him. This is on you. But what does a man need from a woman? Start thinking.
I was gonna say to pray for him.
This is part of your askeza. And that's what gets you again to doing those three things.
Energy.
Every man needs an energy, of course, but this is not what he really, really needs from a woman, where he feels like, she's the one. But let's start. There's three things. The number one, you gotta get that a man he's basically either asleep in life, and that's why he is not providing, leading, and protecting, and he is a victim in life. He's basically asleep. Or a man is either in a fighting mode. Every time a man goes to work, he's going to war. And he fights other bulls like him. And so to a man, it is very important to have this vision or goals or career that he's heading towards. But guess what a woman feels? When he's investing so much time and energy at work, she feels competition. And she even feels sometimes jealousy. And he spends so much time working, emailing, talking to clients because she wants all the attention to herself. And when a man comes from work and she says, or generally, I am so proud of you. I so admire you for your vision and where you're heading. A man feels relaxed that a woman gets him. Write it down. This is the first thing that a man really needs from us. His pressure completely gets off of him, and he feels you're the one, and understand how this is important for him. His vision to grow his business or becoming CEO in a company or a manager, and you are supporting him. You have his back by saying, I am so proud of you, of your vision, or where you're heading in life. He will not show it to you, but in his heart, when you say that, he feels that you got him. You understand him. You understand his core. And this is how he feels. You are the one. He feels really good, really proud that you are his woman. This is a big deal, again, for men to be happy. They gotta be providers and protectors and leaders, because that's when they're conquering challenges at work, when they're succeeding. That's what makes them manly. For us, it degrades us. And so when we're looking at them, oh, relax, you don't have to put so much time into this call and business, you are cutting him off. You're in a way, it's like, why she doesn't get me? And so when you're encouraging him, I am proud of you, what you're doing, he feels like, oh my God, this is my queen. Do you get how this is important? Because at the core, this is who they are. Because businesses and work exhausts us. And we are judging them based on us. But to them, it's everything. That's who they are. When a woman relaxes because she's born for happiness and love, we feel happy. Woman goes to work, she's exhausted, her energy goes down. She feels it's so unfair. But to a man who works, he feels proud of himself. Any questions about that?
The first point, sorry, like what you were discussing, what a man needs, I didn't get it. Yeah.
You like one in one sentences. I think it's like acknowledge his effort. like Amrit, how we can like put it, because Amrita was saying everything, like how we need to support him and proud of him, but like we can say acknowledge his effort.
Admiration.
Or admiration.
Yeah, but you gotta get, we're admiring and appreciating his basically vision, his goal, where he's heading. We're acknowledging that his goal or his career or where he's heading is great. And you're proud of him, of what he's doing. That's how he feels the support. Because a lot of times you're thinking support, oh, if he is broke, let me pay half a rent. Or let me listen to his problems. If you're listening, Anya, you mentioned that, listening and support. Big no. When you are listening to a man's crying, he starts to think of you as a counselor or mother. A mother can listen to a son. But it is not your duty to listen to his problems, because you're gonna continue to start dumping his emotional problems, financial problems, and talking about it to you. And you gotta get very clear. For those of you who haven't been in my program, I would like to write it down. I would like for you to remember this formula for the rest of your life. First, we have Creator, God. Then we have a husband, father, a man. Then we have mother, wife, a woman. Then we have kids and cats and dogs. A father, a husband, cannot go down to share his problems with his wife, his woman. It can go the other way around. Right now, men don't have best friends and older to go to. And so they're used to just dumping their problems on the mother. When they share on the wife and mother their problems, a mother or wife dumps her problems on kids. And shouldn't be like that. Kids go to mother or father, wife goes to husband or God, and husband goes to his bodies or God, but not the other way around. If you allow a man to dump his problems on you, it's gonna go in circles and you will be continually dumping the problems on kids, or you're gonna be poisoning yourself. Very little, but as soon as it gets heavy, you're like, honey, I feel so compassionate to what you go through. And then I will coach you how to tell him what's not working, so he will stop doing it. We'll get to that in a moment. But right now, just please remember the formula. You're not his counselor. You're not his mother. You're not supposed to listen to his emotional and financial breakdowns. You're gonna poison yourself emotionally and physically, and that's not good for you, because you will dump this on your children. You're not gonna be the best quality mother and wife if you're overwhelming yourself with his breakdowns and problems. Do you agree or disagree with that? You get that, right? Because a man is older, we go to him, not the other way around. Okay? And so, the moment you say, I am proud of you and your vision and where you're heading, a man feels relaxed. That he is not competing with you, and you're not competing for his attention, and you get him and his world. Because otherwise, most of the time, women are competing. I need you all, and I don't want to share with you, with your business and your company and your colleagues and partners and all of the employees. Now, also what you need to know, that let's say, well, first of all, Creator assigns to a family, let's say $100K, $100,000. And what most women don't understand, that let's say you're working and making $50,000, and your husband is making also $50,000, or you're making $40,000 and he's making $60,000 a year, hypothetically. But the moment you stop working because your family got allocated above by Creator to make $100,000, guess who will make this $100,000? Your husband. Is that clear? Because when you're trying to get the money, and let's say, well, I want to help my husband, I'm working, you're making this 50K, but because you're working, you're gonna be mostly, if not fully, in your masculine energy, your man won't be able to make more. And therefore, you'll be making 50, and he's competing with you because you're going to a masculine world making money. He'll be making only 50K as well. But sometimes women think, I don't want to just make 50K. I want to make 100K. Husband is making 50 and I want to make 100,000. What she doesn't know, she is going against what Creator has meant for them as a family unit. She will get that $100,000. But what will start happening, she's gonna start deteriorating emotionally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and she'll spend this $50,000 on doctors, psychologists. This is what I was doing the last 2 years of my practice. Spending money, physical therapists, chiropractors, massage therapists, counselors, because I was overwhelmed. So this is not just spiritual knowledge. I actually gone through it myself. Deteriorated my health in 2 years, the worst possible way. And all the money was going on doctors and vacations in order to recuperate. Because I tried to jump over what I was supposed to make. This is very important, ladies. Are you clear about it?
Yes.
Because now, as I'm fooling my feminine energy, doing this program is not a work to me. It's a full self-expression. Doing a retreat, yeah, that's a little bit on the masculine energy. That's why I can do it only once, maybe twice a year at the most. But when I'm fully in my feminine energy, guess who I'm giving 70% of my feminine energy to? Husband and our son. And using my feminine energy, whatever I was making, now my husband is making. Do you get it? That's the way it works. Because some women think, well, in this economy, there's no way men can afford to take care of me and 2 children. Yes, he can. If you are praying or meditating and in your feminine energy, when you give that to him, that's how he actually grows and makes money. If you're making money, you're competing with him, he goes actually lower and makes less. Any questions about it? Because you gotta understand this math. If you're not clear about it, you would still think, well, but I gotta help him, but at least I gotta do this, at least I gotta do that. You are not helping him. You're taking away his leadership as a man. You're sending the message, I don't trust you. Yes, I get Anya, Ayana, Olga, Edith, you're not married yet. But you gotta look, is he paying for my lunch and dinner and theater and movie and Starbucks when he's taking you out? This is the sign that he's a provider and protector. If you're doing 50-50 during the dates, I promise you, when you're gonna move in or marry, you're gonna continue doing 50-50. Clear about that? Okay. Ready for the second point? Now, second thing that is actually very, very important. On a deep core, on a spiritual realm, every man wants to be fed by his woman. Now, to us women, when we eat, we're not really eating. we're tasting food. Little bit here, little bit there. For us, taste is important. And therefore, we're judging our men that food is not a big deal for them. Please know, food is a huge deal for a man. You gotta know this formula. The first we covered, now the second. When a man eats, he almost like pigs out. He gotta stuff his belly, because to him when he's eating, guess what? Subconsciously it's happening. He is prepared for the next day to go to war. It's like almost he's getting his bullets, his weapons, his knives, his uniform renewed, cleaned, fully prepared to go back to battle tomorrow. And so he's stuffing himself. But what's for us women? You go on a diet, you're becoming vegetarian, vegan, and you cook vegetables for him too, and you're like, honey, eat some vegetables. Oof, that hurts, man. You gotta feed him what he likes. Even if it's a bad food in your mind, 5 sausages or 2 steaks, you're like, this is ridiculous. He'll have high cholesterol. When he'll grow spiritually in 10 years or next life, he'll eat veggies. But not in this life. He wants 2 steaks, you give him 2 steaks. To him, it's a war. Because again, a man either asleep and he's a couch potato, or he goes to war every day, he has to provide for who? For you. For you. I get excuses only for Gabby. Right now, she doesn't sleep at night because she's breastfeeding a baby. She can skip sometimes preparing his steaks. But she gotta communicate, honey, I didn't sleep well, I'm tired. Do you mind grabbing something so we can both eat? And he feels loved. Oh, poor honey is tired, cannot cook, but she's telling me that, so I can buy something for both of us. You're excused if you're pregnant and if you're breastfeeding. But still, whenever you feel good, you still gotta cook. But now I'll tell you what you gotta tell him when he's eating. We as a women, you're staying home, you're not working, you're overwhelmed with your emotions, so you're feeding him and now dumping all of your emotions on him. A man feels so overwhelmed. You gotta, no matter how much you wanted to tell him how was your day, you gotta zip it. You gotta be quiet while he's eating. The moment he fully stuffs his belly with his steak or 2 sausages and mashed potatoes or whatever he likes, that's when you can share. But not until then. Is that clear? You gotta prepare his food that he loves and not dump your emotions on him while he's eating. Very, very important. What Western women does? Box, microwave, have some pizza, have some whatever. This is not love. When you are feeding your man, it communicates deep in his heart that you love him. Especially if you prepare something that he loves. You put the effort, you went to the store, you prepared his favorite meal. It's like, oh, she loves me. She knows how it's important for me to go tomorrow to the battlefield and go fight other bulls, other soldiers. Is that clear? Really big deal to a man that you're feeding him. Try to find a man who doesn't like food. You won't provide a leader and protector? Gotta feed your man. Yeah? Now, third, some of you mentioned this, but you don't understand how this is important for a man. A man fully opens his heart. He basically melts, but he's not gonna tell you this. But when you say this, his heart is tuning to you and opens up to you. And this is your loyalty. To a man, honestly, this is probably the most important thing. But not that he will understand your loyalty. You gotta actually tell him, honey, you are the one. I am so happy with you that I have you. You fulfill me fully. I don't need anyone else. Ladies, you gotta write it down. You are the only one that I need. You fully fulfill me. When a man hears that he is it for you and that you're loyal to him, this is it. His heart melts. Now, I'll be honest with you, ladies. You can fake anything in a relationship, but not those three things. But if you're telling him this, but you're in the background thinking he's not the one, he will feel that. If you're still searching for other guys online or chatting with your friends, he will feel it. He will know that. You cannot fake this. But in order to get to that loyalty, guess what do you need? To appreciate your man for all of the wonderful things that he does. What do you think you need? How can you achieve that? Any guesses?
When you will feel protected, when you will feel protected and relaxed.
It's not about you, actually. It's about what you need to do.
To achieve this, to do this three stuff, yeah? Or I didn't get the question.
In order to feel that you actually loyal to him and see all of his amazing, great qualities, and to feel this loyalty towards him, what do you actually need to do?
Commit to him.
To commit to him? In order to see the best qualities in a man, because 99% of the time, we as a women, we actually ignore the good. We concentrate on what's not working. We have that thing. And by the way, if you want to influence your man to change, these are three things you need to do. And we will talk more about it. But in order to see the best qualities in your man, you actually gotta serve him. And concentrate on his good qualities. Maybe that just one thing, he pays for the bills and he takes the trash out. Maybe that's the only two things that he does. And the rest you don't like, that he's messy, that he stopped working out, and that he started even drinking wine on the weekends. You don't like those things. But if you concentrate on the fact that he's taking trash and he's paying bills, and you start to serve him, you're gonna start seeing more and more good qualities in him and start opening your heart to him. Because we usually, as a human beings, we're very selfish in nature. We're like, what can you give me? But the moment you're like, what can you give me? A man does what in return?
He doesn't give. He becomes like really stingy.
Exactly. Because then he's thinking, what can you give him? And that's how you're playing the selfish game. Do you know the formula of happiness really in a marriage? My husband and I were never thinking, what can you give me? You know what we do? We're constantly giving. Exactly. You know, with so much joy, I just feed him. And with joy, I'm washing the dishes after him. And with joy, I pick up his socks and I go wash it. And with joy, when he comes from work, I hug him and kiss him. And I put his food when he goes to work and I hug him and kiss him. Give. Keep serving and giving. The more you serve and give, oh my God, how much you can get back. That's the way the energy works. You give, you serve, and they start giving and serving you back. That's how the love grows. Disconnect from what I can get. And if you're thinking you're giving, and he is not giving back, that's when you gotta start educating your man. And we're gonna talk about it. How man educates us and how we educating women is two different things. It doesn't work for men, what we usually do, and it doesn't work what they usually do with us. It's a completely different way of how we're operating. But so far, is there any questions about what we covered? 3 things. Acknowledging where he's heading, be proud of that. Support him so he can relax, that you're not competing with him and his attention. Number 2, feeding him and be quiet while he's eating and feed him what he likes. And number 3, loyalty. You're putting all the basket into your husband, not anyone else, thinking that, oh, maybe they'll be a better husband, better boyfriend. No, him. When you're engaged and married, until then, there's pool of other men. But once you're engaged and once you're married, this is it. He needs loyalty. That's when he will conquer the world for you. Man needs those 3 things. That's only when they open up their heart for you. Everything else, otherwise, it's a logic. Men are very logical. Any questions about it?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
These points applied only for when you engage and if it's your husband. It's not for your boyfriend, correct?
Well, absolutely. Because while a boyfriend, like we said,
Maybe just start dating, maybe still not even. Yeah.
No. This is a duty of a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're engaged but have a date of the wedding, if you have a ring but no wedding date, he might just give it to you just to sleep with you. And if the date of the wedding is in 2 years, there's still no commitment. It has to be within a year. But no, you don't do that with a boyfriend. He's not your husband and he didn't take responsibility over you. Once he does it, that's when you do it. Boyfriend doesn't deserve it. He is not a provider, leader, and protector. He's dating other women, and you are dating other men. Not sleeping with other men. You're dating. And you're seeing who is matching those 20 points that you wrote down that you want in a relationship and marriage and from a man. And you're not using your emotions, you're using your logic. In the dating, we have to use our logic. We cannot go by our emotions. Our emotions was just... Do you know that, ladies, we go on a date, on the first date, with basically white wedding dress. We're already thinking, oh, his last name gonna be on me like that, our baby's gonna look like that, and our wedding gonna look like that. You gotta stop that. You gotta use your logic. And slowly asking gently questions in a feminine manner to get, is that the guy that can give you all of this? Is he spiritual? Is he fit? Does he wants to have a house next to river, next to forest, and all of that? Clear? And if not, there's other guys. You're dating other guys. You're not putting a wedding on your first date dress. You don't. And you're not matching his last name on your date. And not imagining how your kid's gonna look like. You can't do that. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Now, let's take a 5-minute break and we're gonna continue.